Hi, everyone. I'm going to do a check-in this week. What's coming? What's going on in your life? And let's get started. It's going to be 3 piles again, and you're going to picture pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 in your mind, and which pile is speaking to you and which one is your reading. So let's delve into this. Hi, I'm Kathy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's In the Cards Divination. As I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the week ahead and doing a check-in. What is happening in your life right now and what is going to happen going forward? So now visualize pile 1, pile 2, 4, pile 3, and go down to the description box below. There's a timestamp and you will have a pile to listen to, and that'll be your reading. And if it doesn't resonate for you, don't worry about it. Let it go. Don't make it fit, as I always say. You will know if it speaks to you and it's for you. So, my dear friends, just give it a moment, pause the video, and think about pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3, and let's get started. Okay, let me give that a shuffle. This one is pile 1. Welcome to your reading. All right, what's going on in your life, my friends? Let's see what's going on this week ahead. If you're just listening to this and the week, we're right now, September 5th, 2023. But it doesn't matter. If you're coming in at a different time, listening to this video, then it's meant for you for that week. Okay? Because it's a general reading, it doesn't apply to everyone. All right. Okay. Let's get started, my dears. And what is going on in your life right now? What is it centering around? Pile 1. All right. What do we have here? Now the Strength. In reverse. I'll put that out here. Okay. And what else is going on right now? Okay, we have Justice in reverse. And finally, oh my goodness, 2 of Cups in reverse. All right. And then I'll pull 1 card to see where it's going afterwards. Okay, so it appears that the situation this week for a lot of you in pile 1 is dealing with a relationship of some kind. It can be a love relationship, it can be a friendship, it can be a coworker, it can even be family. But things are difficult right now. You're possibly on the outs. There was a situation that happened. I'm hearing for those of you in a work situation, potentially there was maybe you were overlooked for promotion or a higher position, or you're just feeling like things haven't been fair for you there. There's also, I'm hearing for people in an actual relationship, a love relationship, either at this time you're taking a break from each other or you've broken up completely. There's a situation around that where you're not feeling, I get the feeling that you felt you were doing all the work. Everything was one-sided for you, and it just things were not going well in this particular relationship. Unfortunately, what it's doing right now is it is kind of sucking the life out of you. You're in a state right now where you're feeling very, very, I was going to say, lacking strength, and you're kind of also in that angry mode right now, where you feel that resentment for something that just wasn't fair. You don't feel like you were treated fairly in some way, okay? Whether it's in a personal relationship or a business, the particular situation you're going through right now this week is you're feeling on the outs, okay? So let's see what's going to happen with this situation going forward, all right? Let's see one, and then we'll dig into Kipper and see what information we can get. So what's going to happen with this? Let's see. We have the King of Cups. King of Cups. It appears you're going to rise above it. In fact, I would say you're going to choose to take the high road. The King of Cups in the upright position tells me that you've got your head screwed on properly. You know what you're doing. We're going to pull another card to go with that, if that's referring to you. And the Lovers in reverse, yes. So basically, I feel very strongly this is referring to you. You had to decide, you had to make a choice. Which way am I going to go? And because it is the Lover's card, for the majority of pile one, this could very well reflect a romantic relationship. At the very least, not even least, but it also refers to a friendship, a very deep and strong friendship. Right now, you don't feel connected. There is a disconnect, but it looks like things could, well, they will. They're going to get better for you because you've decided that that's what I'm hearing is for some of you, it's like, I don't want to put up with that nonsense. And you're not going to. That doesn't mean necessarily the relationship is over. Because the Two of Cups in reverse can just sometimes to me indicate a break, a period of time where you're not actually communicating or in some kind of way together. For those of you, this is about the King of Cups in the upright can be referring in a job situation, a male energy, a boss, someone in charge in your career or work who makes a better choice. They may even come back and say, you know what, I made a mistake. We're going to change this. Things are going to get better. We're going to pick you instead. Or in whatever situation it is at work, whether it's a raise, a promotion, even just getting acknowledgement for the hard work you've been doing. There's this King of Cups is like almost acknowledging they made a mistake. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. So that's going forward after that, as well as I say, if it's a relationship situation, it's going to then be that that person, if that's not referring to you, King of Cups is your partner or spouse, they're going to come back and admit they were wrong. That's what it feels like to me. Okay. They're going to try to make good, in other words. And so it's only a temporary issue right now, is what I'm sensing this week for you. But the disconnect between you and another person, it also feels like, especially if it's a work situation, it's like maybe you were the one doing all the work and they're the ones that were getting the accolades and the, oh, good job. Yeah. And you're stuck in the back doing all the heavy duty grunt work. Well, no, that's, and you're exhausted. You're absolutely at the end of your rope. It's like, I'm done with this and I'm not putting up with this anymore. That's what that feels like with a work situation and, or anything in that vein. Okay. So if you're not being treated fairly and getting compensated fairly, it looks like that the King of Cups is coming and will come back to you and acknowledge and choose, make the choice that they made a wrong choice, is what I'm saying. They're the ones that feel they were in the wrong. Okay. So let's go on to our Kipper cards, which I have here. We will shuffle and see what else pile one is expecting this week. All right. Sometimes it's not always big situations when it's a shorter distance from now to obviously it's this week already. They may not be huge issues. It could be more minor irritants or things that could kind of piss you off, you know. It doesn't always have to be those major life situations like relationships breaking up. It's just maybe the two of you haven't been seeing eye to eye this week or won't be. And yeah, it's draining. It drains you, your energy. So, all right, let's see what Kipper has to say about this situation. All right, let's go here. All right, we have the change card. We have the thief. And finally, the journey. Okay. All right. So what it tells me, yeah, it definitely, you were expecting things to get better this week and it does feel more like, as I said, it feels more like a work energy than even a romantic situation. But it can be. If it applies to you and it resonates as a relationship, then that's good. That's what you need to do. But there should have been a change. Okay, there was a change in whether it was. Let me see. Hang on one second. I want some clarity on that. What's the change about? Because usually that change refers to a change of location. All right, let me see. We'll see if there's what change that possibly was referring to. Okay, yes. So it's the marriage card. Okay. So that definitely speaks to those who are in a relationship. Things were supposed to get better. Things were supposed to change for you. Things, maybe in a way, it's just a simple thing, trying to come to an agreement on something this week, and it doesn't happen. It's taken away from you. That's what the thief tells me. And it affects the week following or the time period after this. So for some of you, it's as simple as actually taking a vacation. There was an agreement made. You guys were going to go away, or you're going to go away maybe, and it was taken away from you for whatever reason. It's not happening. And it affects the fact that you wanted to go away, of course. So then what will happen after that? Let's see. Maybe. Ah, something else good is coming your way then, the gift. Whoops, hang on. There we go. So, in other words, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. I would say that for those of you in a career situation, um, yeah, you were promised something. Something was going to be given to you. Your boss promised you some, whether it was, as we spoke about before, and you didn't get it. It wasn't fair. You're feeling resentful. You're feeling like you should have been the one, and it was taken away from you. Somebody else might have received, whether it's accolades or award or a promotion, yeesh, or even worse, a raise and a promotion. Um, and it's going to affect your work situation for the next week. It's going to cause you some, well, what would happen most likely is you just have no motivation. You're just not going, you don't care. And but what's going to happen is it's actually a blessing in disguise, okay? It's a good thing that you don't get it because there's something else coming. Something else in the future, either next week or the week after, is going to be gifted to you. Okay. And it could actually be, for some of you in a relationship, an actual present. They could be trying to make up for what they did and they give you flowers or they buy you some gift. So it appears maybe they buy you a trip because that's what Kipper is actually literally saying, a gift of a vacation, a gift of a journey. So if you, for those of you in a romantic situation or a friendship, maybe you didn't get to spend time with them this week or you don't get to, and they're feeling bad about it. And they may offer you either time with them and or just spending time together, maybe even on a trip, going on a vacation, a small little journey, maybe just going out for the day. But it looks like things will definitely improve by the end of the week. Could be a little rough at the beginning, just because you're feeling really out of sorts with this whole thing. Okay. It's just not what you'd hope for. Okay, my dears, that was pile one. Now, welcome to pile two. We're going to do your reading for you on what's going on in your life this week. For most of you, anyways, because it's a general, and where it didn't shuffle very well. Let's try that again. This cardstock is very thick, so sometimes it's hard to get my fingers around it. All right, what is going on this week, pile two? Let's see here. Let's check in. All right. Oops. Okay, what is the overall energy this week? What's going on here? We have the Nine of Cups in the upright position. Then we have the Page of Wands, but in the reverse. And finally, the Three of Pentacles in the upright. Okay. All right. For most of you, pile two, the week appears to be starting off on a good note. Things are going your way, you're satisfied. It feels like you think you've got life by the tail this week. Things are all your ducks in a row, everything is working out for you. And I feel like this is mostly for those of in the work situations pertains to, at least the tarot does. It looks to me that work you are this week, you've come up with some really good ideas, but you about a project or something you're going to be working on and how to collaborate and work together as a team in a team environment. But it appears that it's not going to get started this week. Things aren't, or at the very most, they don't necessarily like your idea and they're not going to go with it. So the Page of Wands in reverse does indicate that sense of either there's a delay in moving forward on it into the team effort, or the other option is they're just not going to use your idea, which is whatever, that's their loss. For those of you in a relationship situation, it feels like a very good week to spend time working together as a family and doing things together. The Three of Pentacles shows a week of growth, okay, in any situation this week for you, whereby you just need to get out and have some fun. But again, the energy is showing a very comfortable energy. In other words, enjoying yourself and really getting the things that you wanted done this week. That's kind of the energy around it. There is the one hiccup, this one, and it could also revolve around hearing from someone. There might be someone you've been wanting to hear from, and there's still a delay on that. You haven't received a message, whichever situation involves around it, whether it's an email or text message or phone call. Um, some of you are even doing, and what I'm feeling is you're doing work around the house, doing things there this week that require help from someone else. You can't do it alone. But unfortunately, you're kind of delayed. You have to put it off maybe till the week after because you're not able to find somebody to do it with you. In fact, for those of you that have younger children, teenagers, younger adults, yeah, they're not cooperating with you and helping you the way you'd hope to this week in whatever capacity. So let's see how that goes after that. What's going to happen to this situation then going forward? Let's see here. All right. And we have the Page of Swords in reverse. So it appears that you're still not going to get help from them the week after. It looks like, and it could very well be because of the fact that school has started in North America and or anywhere else where it started, university, college, whatever it is, that they're too busy. Okay. They're just not available. Okay. So if you are someone who needs help around your home, you might have to look for someone else. Or if you're trying to move things forward at work, the coworker is dropping the ball. They're not helping you on this one. It's just, you're on your own on this one, my friends, okay? So let's see what happens with Kipper. What is going to happen here? Yeah, there's one person here in this situation. Like there's the Three of Pentacles shows three people, you and two others, but one of them is not available, is not willing to or able to help. So the card tells me that it's either just you on your own or two of you that have to move forward in this situation and work alone. Okay. Now let me see. What do we have here? Kipper. what can you tell us about next week for pile two, right? All right, pile two. We have a false person. All right. Thief. Oh boy, that's not very optimistic, is it? And change. Okay. So false person in this case could just be referring to a situation that just isn't going well this week for you, a difficult situation, um, about a situation that was taken away from you. And then, as I mentioned before, it could just be that there's nobody available for you to help you move, even. Some of you might be moving, and there's no, there's not enough people there to help you. That's going to prove to be a real difficulty this week for you. And for others, the change is more around just a lack of, I don't want to say that they're a thief, 'cause that's a terrible, you don't want to accuse someone. But unfortunately, with the false person, it affects the thief card. Now, the thief card, again, as I've said, is about a lack or something taken away, right? And it looks like whatever's taken away from you this week, whether it's the person that's going to help you or the situation, unfortunately, you're not getting it back. They're not coming back to you. Some of you are getting your cars fixed this week or having work done, and you might get taken a little bit financially. So be prepared. Be a little bit warning for some of you. It could be as literal as the car or the vehicle you drive, and there's some unscrupulous, people out there, as we know, and or didn't want to say car accident, but you might be without a vehicle this week for some of you. Your vehicle is not working, or maybe there's been an accident and it's out of commission right now. But unfortunately, it's not coming back to you this week, in other words. Now, let me see. I'm going to pull another Kipper card to see how that goes. Okay. But they will, not this week, but potentially the week after, or as we say, the week after that. They are going to make a promise to you and a commitment that this will happen next week or the week after for you to get resolved this issue. So if this is a work situation and you're not able to receive help to move forward on a project, it looks like the week after that one person is still not available. They might tell you they will do it. And for a lot of you, it might work out, but not necessarily. There's some of you where that person is not going to be available even next week. Okay. So it's kind of the opposite. For some it is and some it isn't, which stands to reason. Circumstances change. But it looks like a fairly, I wouldn't say, well, if you have a car accident, it's going to be a difficult situation, clearly, but it may not be as dire as that. It could be a fender bender because we're on the short side right now for timing. It could just be some simple annoyance with the car. Maybe the tire goes, whatever, and you have to get it fixed. So it could be something like that. And maybe they overcharge you for it. That's sort of what I'm referring to here this week. It not necessarily has to be catastrophic, right? In fact, most of the time, as I've mentioned, it's not. It's usually within a short time like this, the prediction is usually less severe. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave that with you. I hope this made sense to you, pile two, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading that we will have. All right. Now, pile three, do we have in store for you this week? Let's just check in and see what's going on in your life this week. All right. Okay. Yeah, what is going on? So, pile three. Pile three. Pull some cards. Let's see what we have here. Okay, pile three. 10 of Wands in the upright. No, 10 of Wands reversed. Clearly, it's reversed. And we have the Two of Pentacles. That's in the upright. And finally, Chariot, reversed. Okay. All right. It looks like you're coming to the end of a situation this week. Right now, you're probably in the midst of it, but it's going to be over very soon. And but it looks like you're the type of person that needs to be always busy. Like there's people that it's kind of like there's an expression, if you want something done, ask a busy person, you know? But this week it's not, things aren't going forward for you, whether it's in a work project or a situation at work. The things are kind of stalled right now. But what I'm hearing is it's because of your own, I won't say doing, but it looks to me as if you need to be more disciplined in what you're doing. So sometimes the chariot can reflect even an exercise program, all right? And it looks like you're not doing it. Okay, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You're busy this week. You've got lots on the go. You can't be everything to all people at all times, right? It's just the way it is. So it looks to me as if you're kind of going this week from one situation to a new situation, whether it's at work or at home in your personal life, as far as starting something new. It's like you're jumping into something else. So you're finishing off one difficult situation. Let's see if we can find out where the centers around. The world in reverse. Okay. So it is a completion situation, but it's not completing this week. Definitely. That's the sense around it. It's like unfinished business. Okay. So the Two of Pentacles, when I see the two like this next to the reverse 10, it's almost like either you're jumping into a new situation right away, something else, without finishing the first one, or you're starting over in some way. Okay. It feels like, okay, when you jump, you don't get the exercise program done this week, right? But you wake up next week or today, tomorrow or whatever, and you go, well, today's the day I'm going to do it. So that's kind of what I'm sensing. And it can be in relation to any aspect of your life, doesn't necessarily have to be exercise, but any discipline that we need to do move forward on. And again, for some of you, it could just be a lack of, it's just of completion success. You're not able to be successful at what you wanted to get done this week. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Let's see what will happen going forward. Let's just see. 8 of Wands in the upright. Yes. So next week or going forward after this, it looks like things are going to happen very fast. You may even hear about, maybe receive messages from people about this situation. If it's not, like I say, an exercise program or a discipline, and it's work related, for example, or a project that you're working on, it feels to me that suddenly you're going to get the green light to move forward and it's going to get going again. Okay, so this week is kind of a frustrating week for pile three so far. They're just not able to finish off what they'd hoped to do and get done this week. And part of it feels a little bit like you need to kind of pull the reins in a little bit of yourself. It's like you're almost your worst enemy. Um, Too many irons in the fire. I know that's another old expression, but too many things on the go that you're trying to do at one time. Don't try to do it and be all things to all people. You can't. But the Ten of Wands in reverse also, it's good at the beginning of the week. It's like, okay, we finally have room now to move forward. It looks like I've got this situation done, this particular whatever it is in your life. But again, there's something else coming. There's another thing. It's like, ugh, when am I ever going to get through it? Okay. In fact, it feels big. It's not, because it looks like the week after things are going to move a little faster for you and full steam ahead. Okay. So don't worry about it. If it doesn't, you know what? If you don't get it done this week, don't beat yourself up. It's, you know what? There's next week. It's still going to be there. Okay. I mean, unless it's obviously a promise situation where you've made a commitment to get a project done or something done at work or with a friend or whoever, I'm sure they'll understand. And sometimes it's out of your hands. In this case, with the Chariot in the reverse, it could very well be out of your hands. For some of you, it can even refer to, as mundane as this sounds, but your own vehicle is out of commission and you're not able to get things done that you'd hoped. You're having problems with it, maybe. You just can't get out there. Maybe you just have too much going on and you're not able to get this situation resolved. Okay, let's see what Kipper has to say then. Let's see here. So pile 3. Kipper is very direct. He tells it like it is. It's like, no, this is it, and that's all there is to it. Let's see what Kipper has to say. Okay. Let me just see here. Okay. What's the week going to be like for pile 3, hey? All right. Oops. Okay, so yes, messages. Definitely a message. Okay, so the first card is the coffin. Ending, ending. It's not an actual death. I don't see that. It's mirroring the Ten of Wands in the reverse. In other words, there is something that's completed and finished off and closed. And it's about something, it was someone else, obviously. There's some agreement or promise that was made that you would do something for them or with them. I'm hearing with them, not for them. But it's some of you might be for them. But yeah, it's like another situation. It's like you've already ended one thing and we're going into another agreement, another project. Okay. And then we have the message. This is good. You're going to get a positive message, the green light, as I mentioned, about moving forward on this, because that's toward the end of the week. And let's see what the last card says. Message of concern. So there is some stress around it, I think, because all of a sudden now you've got to get it done. It's like whatever it is that you haven't been able to accomplish this week, whether you're too busy or just something stalled it, delayed it, then now it's going to be going ahead, possibly next week or so, and it's causing you concern. It's now it's like, oh shit, now I got to get this done. What am I going to do? They're expecting me to do this. Now, let's see what it is potentially for most of you. It's around the success, being successful. We know that. And the Hierophant. Okay. So for some of you, this is actually referencing some kind of a communication, like I'm hearing like a presentation or a speech or a meeting. You have to present. That's what I'm feeling. And whether or not you'll be successful at doing it this week. For others, I feel like it's an actual contract that you might be entering into, potentially. But this week it's delayed. As I said, it's not going forward at this time. And now you have to wait, and either till next week or the week after. It's causing you stress. The Hierophant is also telling me, for some of you, it can be even as obvious as around a religious organization. So Maybe there's a commitment you've made to do and for them, and you're not able to get it done this week. But as I said, the week after, you're gonna hear about it. So maybe it's being canceled, or maybe it's being pushed forward, a delay of some kind as to why this week it's not working. But I'm here to tell you, you better get organized because it's coming fast the week after, and you're gonna have to really hunker in and get done whatever needs doing, my friends. So pile three, I hope that made some sense to you. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that is jumping out at me. Just give me a moment, please. Hmm. For some of you, and this is quite a mundane thing, but I'm also hearing about social media. Um, Somebody was spending too much time. That's very particular, but it's maybe just a few of you might have this issue and you might have pulled away and you just came back a little bit this week. Um, but you've also kind of reined yourself in. You're not going to go back to as much as you did before. But next week, full steam ahead, okay? Yeah, it's almost like you promised to stop it messaging, and yeah, next week it's happening, but it's going to cause you some stress, unfortunately. Um, whether it's messaging directly, for some of you, it could even be getting married or some other type of commitment that you agreed to. And the message can refer to an actual paperwork being done for a marriage, but there's concern around it. Now, that won't apply to a lot of people, obviously, that's very specific, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just this week there seems to be some kind of delay in the paperwork as well. And let's see here. I think that pretty much covers us. I would say for the most of you, this is in relation to maybe something around the home and something at work, or something at work. Could be both. So pile three, I hope you enjoyed this reading today, checking in with you to see what's happening this week in your life. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.